When was the last time you spoke to your higher self? Did you speak back? What we're talking about today is deciphering messages from your higher self, the how-tos and synchronicities. Welcome everyone to a new episode of Collective Consciousness. My name is Tiny, I'm your host, and I'm so happy to welcome you to the show where we focus on expanding your consciousness. The whole purpose of this show is to help individuals who are on their road to self-mastery. So if that's an individual like yourself, take one moment right now and smash that subscribe button down below and hit the like button. So like I said, what we're talking about today is getting in connection with your higher self. Let's get started. I want to start off today's episode by telling you guys a story. For as long as I can remember, I've always kept a journal, okay? And in my journal, I always just share my experiences, things that upset me, things that I'm excited about, things that I'm working on, things like that. Goals, right? And this type of behavior helps me see my growth on paper, okay? So this was a journal entry from July of 2018. Prior to this journal entry, the journal entry before that is how I had done the Master Cleanse, and this was the first time I had ever done it. The Master Cleanse for 7 days. I didn't do it for the full 10 days the first time, for the first few times. But I had done the Master Cleanse for 7 days, okay? Pay attention to that number 7. We're in the 7th month of the year, and currently, and in the journal entry. And 7 days prior, or 7 days, it took me to do the Master Cleanse, and there's 7 days also in this journal entry. So here we go. I am a very powerful manifester. I think of something and it literally manifests itself physically into my reality. I do it all the time with people, money, opportunities, and strange things like feathers. Last year, I listened to Abraham Hicks, which is a channeling I really like to listen to, pretty much every day. One of the lessons that someone talked about was manifesting a specific, particularly strange feather that they created in their mind. So after hearing that, I started to notice the universe communicating with me every time that I see a random feather on the ground. It is a reminder that you create your own reality. This morning, I woke up at 4 a.m. And this is quite embarrassing, I have to admit. But I heard something buzzing in my ear. And I freaked out. I got up across the room naturally and turned on the light to see it was a 2-inch flying cockroach in my room. Not only was this monster crawling all over my bamboo pillows, it decides to fly over to my nightstand. After losing my mind and finding out that it had injured itself, it crawled behind the bed. And so determined, I ripped the bed apart and I'm looking for this thing left and right. Now, I had never seen a bug in this apartment before. And for there to be not just a bug, and this is in Las Vegas, by the way, so they have like sand roaches out there, but it was like a 2-inch flying monster. And to find it on me in the middle of the night. So, okay, so I'm freaking out. I'm determined to find this thing because if you know anything about me, your girl don't do bugs, okay? So, after I ripped the bed from away from the wall, I then found about a 4 to 6 inch feather just chilling. Now, mind you, I had only been living in this apartment for a few months, and it wasn't there when I moved in or when I put my bed in this room 8 months ago. I don't recall having a bird in the room either. Me. How do you explain that? Myself. You create your own reality. So what? Were you just dreaming about roaches then? Me again. What does this mean? Myself looks up dreams about cockroaches. And here's what it said. Sorry, I'm just being all dramatic. I'm actually this dramatic in my journal entry as well. Literally, it's a script. Me, myself, I. Anyway, I looked up what dreams about cockroaches meant, right? I didn't remember my dream, but just being a powerful manifester, if I think something, it happens. So maybe I was dreaming about a cockroach and manifested it in my reality, right? That's my thought process. So I look up the meaning about dreaming about cockroaches, and it says seeing cockroaches in your dream means that your need for renewal, rejuvenation, self-cleansing of your psychological, emotional, or spiritual being. You need to reevaluate major aspects of your life. I'm like, well, damn. After that, I ended up losing the roach, but Louis found it and killed it for me. Louis, my dog. He is my bug handler, and so he handled that for me. But I sanitized everything. I cleaned everything in the house. I was totally freaked out. It was 5 a.m. at this point, and my room was already like destroyed, me looking for this bug. But I said here, this will be my last month in this apartment. I need change, renewal. And I ended up moving out 7 days later. And then 7 days after that, I got a promotion at work. So it was 3 weeks of like 7-day increments after doing the master cleanse. So like, let's talk about like how to decode some of those things. How my brain kind of worked when instead of freaking out and like wanting to move out, originally just like out of emotion after finding a bug on me in the middle of my sleep, right? That is not okay. So after that, I could have emotionally decided that I wanted to leave that place anyway. However, instead I began to look for the bug, right? Then I found that feather. And after seeing these feathers, I would see feathers, and what the feather would mean to me is that, you're on the right path, or your angels are communicating with you, or go this way, just little things like that. And it was after listening to that channeling from Abraham Hicks and, just putting the pieces together, right? And that is what communication with your higher self is. It's putting all the little pieces together to get a message. We as humans really think on a linear scale. And it's like, okay, Tiny, well, what does that mean? That means we think A plus B equals C. However, it's not always like that. There's multi-dimensions in the universe. The point is, we don't have the full scope of picture of the different dimensions. So your higher self, the universe, God, these are all synonyms of the same word. Spirit, spirit does not communicate with you by sending you a message or a post-it note or something like that. You have to decipher this, and it's something that only you can decipher. It is through your everyday experiences. When you start to see synchronicities, and let's talk a little bit about what synchronicities are really quick. Synchronicity, by Oxford Dictionary definition, the simultaneous occurrence of events which appear significantly related but have no discernible causal connection. So, the fact that that roach had fallen on me and there was a feather behind my bed doesn't seem to have been related to each other, right? Those were two separate occasions. But because I saw them in the order that I saw them in, I looked up the meaning, because that is what the feather signifies to me. So it immediately restructured the way that I was thinking about the situation, and because I saw that feather. And it's like, no, there has to be a deeper meaning to this. So what the heck does, let's say I'm waking up dreaming about cockroaches and there's one on me. What does that mean? I don't know what I was dreaming about, honestly, but that's how I interpreted it, right? And I looked it up, and it was time for renewal. And that's after I moved out of that place. I had moved into my own apartment, and I hadn't lived in my own apartment for like 2 years. So it was just it felt very good to be able to level up and to be able to receive the message in a positive way instead of in an alarmist way or a negative way or a way of anxiety. I mean, don't get me wrong, I had trouble sleeping for the next few nights, but but everything ended up working out. And sometimes, even just the other day, I ended up getting a lot of anxiety because it was a lot of little things I couldn't control back to back, right? And at the end of the day, everything just worked out fine. And I was just telling someone, like, anxiety doesn't serve anyone, because at the end of the day, it's going to work out just fine. So tell yourself that. And when you go through this week, I want you to pay attention to those little synchronicities. I want you to pay attention to the repeating numbers. If you know what your life path number is, which basically you add up the numbers of your birthday until you get a single digit, unless it's 11 or 22 or 33. Those are master numbers. Master numbers stay as they are. However, to get a numerological number, and try this with your birthday. Put your birthday, add up all the numbers, and figure out what your life path number is, and then Google it. If you see that number on repeat, if you see triple digit numbers or even more digit numbers, these are messages. So pay attention. Stay on that frequency. Listen, see, hear, taste, touch, experience the messages that you are giving yourself. Your higher self is always communicating with you. I want to tell you one more quick story. This is a story that I'm actually taking from Lee Carroll, who is a channel for Cryon, another channel that I love to listen to. The story is called The Parking Angel. So Lee Carroll believes that there's this thing called the parking angel, where basically he drives around, and when he pulls up to the store that he wants to go to, there is a magical parking angel that's like, you leave that parking space. And then all of a sudden he just magically gets a good parking space every time, right? So we're human. Like I said earlier, we think linear. We think, in order, right? We think that someone has to be in command of that, because that's how we work, right? Someone's in command of making things happen for us. Well, what if I was to tell you that person that's in command is you? That's you. That's your higher self looking out for you. I call it being considerate to myself. When I do stuff for myself in the past, for my future self, also my higher self working for me, that is literally, that's you. So you are the parking angel. There is no guy with wings or the big old P on his chest. It's you. So, think of everything in your life like that. You are the one that's creating the synchronicities, because this is your life. What you believe manifests, right? So your higher self is guiding you through that path, but are you listening is the question. Intuition is often a quick flash or image, right? Or scene. Maybe it's just a quick feeling, but often we question and doubt our intuition. This week, I have an assignment for you. I want you to pay attention to all of the synchronicities that go on this week. And when you have a flash of intuition, follow that. Don't second guess yourself. Don't think twice about it. Follow it. Follow that flash of intuition and see where it takes you. Take a risk. Be ready for change. Be open and willing to accept whatever the universe has to give to you, because that is how you manifest the life that you truly want. You have to be open and willing for the change. All right, so my stomach is growling. That means it's time for me to go. That is all I have for you guys this week. Thank you so much for joining. Again, if you like this content, go ahead and hit that like button down below. If you think someone can benefit from this content, hit the share button. And if it's something that's in alignment with you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, today has been brought to you by the handmade jewelry of Divine Blessings. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram, because I do custom orders, and shipping, of course, is available at Divine Blessings, and you can communicate with me there. Thanks so much, everyone. I appreciate every single one of you. Asè and namaste.